difficult, and it's hard to start something when you're intimidated from the beginning. So we kind of just try to strip that back and make it attainable for anyone who just wants to try.
Well, last week we brought you the story of Bud the pony. His owner can no longer care for him and is looking for a new home for the little horse before the winter sets in.
Now, the problem is that Bud has a health condition that means he needs to be separated from other horses. But some good news. After our story about Bud aired, a concerned horse lover reached out and offered Bud a new home. Here Now's Malone Mullins stopped in to see how Bud is adjusting to the new digs.
Coverage really helped because we have had people from PEI, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, even Ontario, offer to help, offer to foster him. Some people offer to adopt him. So, you know, it's such a, I don't know, I guess, a happy feeling to know that, you know, so many people are offering to help, and, you know, people can band together and help even just one animal. It just makes such a difference. The next step is to see if we can get him to PEI to have his surgery. So we will have to do some fundraising for that. We don't have an exact number yet, but we will soon. He will be referred to the vet in PEI hopefully soon once the vet comes out and checks him out. It's definitely a happy ending start. So we're not quite there yet, but we'll keep you updated as it goes on, and for sure, you know, he's going to go to good places.
That's great.
Yeah, lucky pony.
Yeah, so he's safe and sound for now, but he still does have a long road ahead of him.
Now, in the spring, Rescue NL hopes to find him a permanent home and get some fundraising going to pay for the surgery that Bud needs. Now remember, you can watch Here and Now while you're on the go. We are broadcasting live on YouTube, and you can also catch past episodes on demand. Just go to YouTube and subscribe to CBC NL.
Well, here's a live look outside our studios tonight. Temperatures right now are going to be the coolest because they're warming up by the time tomorrow morning rolls around for many areas. I'll have all the details coming up.
Time now to have a look at the weather, but before we get to that, a sure sign that the wintry weather is starting to set in. It's time for the swans at Mundy Pond to be transferred to Bowring Park.
Oh yes, an annual event. There was a report this morning that these two swans at Mundy Pond were stuck in the ice at some point, and as the day went on, a small patch of open water allowed them a little bit of room to move.
The city says it plans to carry out its annual capture of the swans sometime this week. They'll be transported to Bowring Park, where they will stay during the winter months. And the good news is over the next couple of days, we're going to see some warmer weather.
Oh,
that's good.
That is good.
That could help the people who remember last year, Carolyn, like the people went to catch them and they couldn't get them.
It was
They kept dodging them.
I wonder how do they catch those swans? Because swans aren't very friendly creatures.
No, they're beautiful, but they're saucy and nasty, actually. I mean, they look majestic, but they're really mean.
Yeah.
And they're hard to catch, so maybe... Actually, you know what? We should actually go out there with Ashley and see if we can catch the swans.
What, you want me to catch the swans?
Both of us.
Oh.
Let's call the city and say, hey, we'll help.
Get our rubber waders on. And
I'll stay away from that.
We warned you we'd make you do things.
You did.
Yeah.
You did warn me that you'd make me do things. That's true. But I'll stick with the weather for
All right.
now. Is that okay? Yeah, if we take a look at the current temperatures right now, sitting in the minus single digits, and they have been since yesterday too. That's why we're seeing those frozen waters. And those temperatures are quite cool up through Labrador as well, minus 17. Factor in that wind chill. It's feeling closer to minus 23, and the potential, or we're going to see some clear skies tonight through Labrador. So those wind chills are going to be significantly cooler, likely closer to about minus 33 for Lab City, and then the rest of Labrador looking at somewhere between minus 22 and minus 26 wind chills as we head through the night tonight. As far as what weather we're going to see, there's those clear skies I was mentioning through Labrador. Down through the island is where most of the weather will happen. We're seeing some onshore flurries tonight for the west coast, and then the little bit of precipitation moves in as we head through the night tonight. Starting along the south coast and the Burin, either flurries and then eventually changing over to showers after midnight for Burin. We're going to see that for the Avalon as well. And then the rain-snow line will continue to move north and west as we head into the morning hours. But we're going to see snow for the most part. Some of this rainfall likely somewhere between 10 to 15 millimeters. The most looks like it should be along the Avalon. And then eventually, as I mentioned, continuing to move more north and east by the time Tuesday afternoon rolls around. So if we take a look at the temperatures for tonight and what we're expecting, generally down to the minus single digits, minus 4 in Corner Brook. Along the south coast, Burin and Avalon, those temperatures are actually going to climb towards the morning hour, somewhere in the minus single digits. And then by the time tomorrow morning rolls around, about 2 or 3 degrees, and even more so as we head through the day on Tuesday. There's those wind chills I mentioned. Lab City going down to minus 28. Factor in that wind chill, feeling closer to minus 33. Happy Valley Goose Bay minus 19. But clear skies right across the board, minus 13 tonight in Cartwright. Some southwest winds helping to bring that down, that wind chill value down to about minus 26. So if we take a look at the snowfall accumulations tonight out ahead of that system, along the west coast, somewhere between 2, maybe 5 centimeters of snow. We're going to see that for central and then down through the south coast as well. Into tomorrow afternoon, those numbers will jump up closer to between 2 and 5 centimeters for parts of central. Buckins could pick up about around 6 centimeters of snow before that changes over to rain into the afternoon and evening hours. Now, there is a slight chance we could see some freezing rain Thursday or Tuesday night into Wednesday morning with the second round of precipitation that moves in. That's actually going to bring snow to parts of Labrador as well. Special weather statement in effect already, but I will have all those details and the forecast looking a little bit ahead coming up in a little bit.
Thanks, Ashley. Well, the Salt clothing line has had lots of online success. The local brand has racked up followers on Instagram and Facebook, and now the women behind the sweaters are going old school with a clothing line, a clothing store in their hometown. Here now's Garrett Berry got the behind-the-scenes look.
They're unloaded, unpacked, and ready to shine.
Last weekend was when we started this, and we came in for like 36 hours straight. We were cleaning, we were painting, like we've completely redone this entire building.
There's enough where these are small.
You might have seen these before.
Oh my goodness, salt sightings. We love those.
A few thousand followers on Instagram and a couple thousand more on Facebook.
When they even take a photo and post it and share it on our Instagram account, we get really excited.
They've got a certain online chic.
I mean, like you said, anyone can go out and screen print, and it's a little bit challenging to brand yourself. We're definitely learning that lesson slowly but surely. But to stand for something, I think that's the biggest part that's kind of different with our clothing line and other people's.
And that's that people are genuine and good-natured, all qualities people would often refer to people coming from this province. So when we take photos or if we design things, we're always kind of trying to be true to ourselves and true to where we're from and make sure that we're putting, ourselves forward in the most genuine way that we can.
This won't be Salt's only physical location. Saunders and Evans are also planning a small residential business in St. John's. But why would a brand with such Instagram appeal go old school?
Things kind of happen organically for us, and when this did occur, and it seemed like kind of an easy thing to do for us at that time, we said, okay, let's make a little pop-up shop and see what becomes of it.
And Grand Falls, Windsor, their home, just makes sense.
When we first started the brand about 1.5 years ago, we didn't realize just how much support would come out of this region specifically. We were really excited to get support and to watch it grow, but it always seemed like this region were really just excited for us and kind of following along what we were doing.
They've done sales before, but this will be the biggest store yet. Open until December 23rd, or while quantities last. Garrett Berry, CBC News, Grand Falls, Windsor.
They have to answer questions. They will be answering questions.
I mean, we're getting very little information in regards to what transpired, why it happened.
Still to come on Here and Now, we'll go back to the House of Assembly to hear some of the questions politicians have for Husky Energy. Welcome back. Oil, weather, and safety regulations mixed into a political slick at the House of Assembly today. This after this province's largest offshore oil spill happened on Friday. Well, after question period, I asked the Minister of Natural Resources, Siobhan Cody, several questions, starting with why Husky Oil isn't talking about what happened. This is the most significant oil spill in our offshore history, and Husky is not answering any questions.
Certainly, they have to answer questions. They will be answering questions on the because of the investigation that will be ongoing.
Right, but this happened on Friday.
Absolutely.
And the company, the polluter, is mute.
They should not be mute. They should be out giving people what is happening and what they're doing to mitigate and what their observations are. So they should be doing that.
Do you have any concerns this demonstrates a pattern? This is the same company that kept pumping when an iceberg was close. Now there's a huge storm and they still keep pumping. Is this a pattern?
So that's what part of the investigation will look at. With the safety and environmental protection plan was what was being enacted when the storm took place on Thursday. They did shut in, and when they started to when they decided to restart on Friday, and the question is, you know, should they have restarted on Friday? Yeah. Right? And if that was permissible under the plan, why should it be permissible? It will be under investigation. That will be considered. I mean, we want to know, we as a province, we as we as the people of the province want to know how we can ensure this does not happen again. And so if they could restart on Friday, then what do we need to do to ensure that in circumstances like we're seeing, like we saw on Thursday, Friday, how can we make sure that that doesn't happen?
Are you aware of any other damages? The heli deck on Hibernia being out of commission for an hour, that the lifeboat safety deployment on Terra Nova, the arms were also damaged. Are there any other damages that Newfoundlanders and Labradorians should know of as a result of that, the worst storm in the world last week?
Certainly there were damages that did occur on Thursday and Friday. I can't give you a list of the damages. I don't have them here. There were damages, but safety was not an issue. So I will say that to the people of the province. That's one of the most important things. We do have a chief safety officer responsible for ensuring the safety of our offshore workers, and everything went well. And during, as you termed it, one of the worst storms on the planet. And so I'm glad to say that there was no safety incidences. Yes, there was some damages that did occur, I understand, because I was in touch with both CNLOPB and then in the evening the operators to find out, to make sure, just to monitor what was happening offshore.
Now, Siobhan Cody's opposition critic Keith Hutchings says he doesn't understand why neither the province nor the federal government are providing more details about the spill and about why Husky Energy was drilling again on Friday while other rigs were not. As for the actual size of the spill, I asked Mr. Hutchings about that. Mother Nature has blasted the 250,000 litres. How do we actually know that figure's accurate?
We don't. At that particular time, based on the sheen, I guess, and based on other criteria, they made an estimate of that. But at the end of the day, I remember going down, and when I did the briefing with CNLPB, they talked about a sheen on top of the water. And from what I know very little about, from the scientific point of view, it doesn't always mean that that's the end of oil leaking out. How it dissipates in the water, the depth of water, the temperature of the water, all of those things could mean that the oil could still be flowing, but the sheen doesn't show on top of the water. So it's a great question. I don't know, but it's another question someone needs to ask at the end of the day. If you're saying it's only whatever it was, number of liters, how do you know that? And what's the scientific basis for it? And I guess they got to get down. I understand there's some equipment gone down to take a look to try and confirm if the leak is actually stopped.
Yeah, so lots of questions still from politicians and from the public.
Yeah, lots of questions, especially for Husky Energy. Not so many answers yet, but once we get those answers, CBC NL, of course, will bring them to you on our website and then on Here and Now.
Well, coming up on Here and Now, it's about to get underway here, 100 years since the Okak tragedy here in Labrador. The Spanish flu came and into Labrador and killed hundreds here. I'll have more on that coming up.
Welcome back to Here and Now. We're going to head to Labrador, where some people are marking the significant impact the Spanish flu had on the population 100 years ago this year.
The severe and deadly strain of the virus decimated much of the Inuit population on the north coast of Labrador.
Here Now's Jacob Barker is at the Friendship Centre in Happy Valley Goose Bay, where a ceremony marking the anniversary is just about to take place. So Jacob, tell us what's going on there tonight.
Well, Anthony, things are just getting underway here, so that's why I'm keeping my voice down. But people, in just a minute from now, they're going to light the hulik. It's a ceremonial flame, and it will be in remembrance of the history of what happened there in Okak 100 years ago today, or this year, sorry. It was in October of 1918 when a supply vessel called the SS Harmony set sail from St. John's for northern Labrador. It brought with it a deadly virus. The area most affected was north of Nain, in former communities such as Okak and Hebron. As a result, 204 of the 263 residents there perished. At the event here tonight, they will be lighting the hulik, the ceremonial flame. They'll also have a traditional meal. Alex Saunders' mother was from Okak. She was one of the few who survived the outbreak. He was cooking up some muktuk earlier, a traditional meal of whale blubber. He says it's to honor his ancestors, and it's important to remember the tragic events so they don't happen again.
It was such a tragic event up there. Actually, it changed the whole culture of the Labrador Inuit, and the uniqueness that the old Inuit had died with them, and we've never been able to get that back. And then, of course, there was dominance by the Moravian missionaries too for a long time, and the people now are starting to come onto their own. So I think it's very important that we commemorate events like this to be very aware of our own identity.
So you can see that ceremony taking place right now, lighting that ceremonial flame called the hulik. There are ceremonies going on simultaneously with this one in Postville and Wriggle at a time for all of Labrador to come together and remember this tragic event. Reporting live for Here and Now in Happy Valley Goose Bay, I'm Jacob Barker.
We continue our series tonight into ATV use in Atlantic Canada with this next story from Prince Edward Island. The people who enforce ATV laws in that province say there are far too many riders breaking them. The CBC's Steve Bruce looks at how the disregard for the law is fairly common in rural communities, and some say it's a tough thing to change.
Officials say this is a common sight here in Mont Carmel and in so many rural areas. ATVs zipping down the side of roads where they're not allowed to be, many of them driven by kids too young to be riding alone. The president of Evangeline's ATV Federation says for many riders here it's a necessity for getting around, just part of the way of life.
A lot of kids, they want to go visit their friends, girlfriends, wherever. It's an ATV that, you know, no denying, they'll take the back roads and whatnot, and it's been like that for years and years.
And PEI's conservation officers say it's a constant struggle to police it. In the last 6 years, they have issued nearly 500 charges under the Off-Highway Vehicle Act, but enforcement manager Wade McKinnon says that's a small fraction of the number of illegal riding complaints that come in. McKinnon says catching riders is just a tough game, especially with so many riding without a license plate.
They're able to enter fields and into the forest and take off where we won't be able to follow. And we do not chase off-highway vehicles. We believe it's putting someone's life at risk.
So, how to get more riders following the rules? The president of PEI's ATV Federation thinks mandatory safety training for all riders will help, but he says the first step is to create more legal trails. As it stands, riders technically have to stick to their own properties or the limited number of trails that other property owners have opened to ATVers. Bottom line, Peter Mellis says it's hard for riders to get anywhere on their ATVs without breaking the law.
You know, people are saying, why should I bother registering and plate on my bike when I leave my property, I'm breaking the law. The government has never opened any crown land for riding.
The Federation is in talks with government to try and change that. Its members are also constantly knocking on the doors of private property owners, encouraging them to open up some of their land to ATVs. In the meantime, though, conservation officers say riders need to realize the laws are in place for a reason.
Some of the riders don't believe they're not an issue. They're not damaging anything. They're just running up and down the highway. But running up and down the highway is a safety issue for everybody on the road.
McKinnon says the public can help by being more willing to identify riders spotted breaking the law, something that in small communities, he says islanders are often reluctant to do. Steve Bruce, CBC News, Mont Carmel.
And now to an exclusive CBC News investigation that has found Ottawa's largest public school board ignored repeated warnings about teachers at one high school, teachers who were later charged with sexually assaulting dozens of teenagers. 2 teachers died before their trial started. One is in prison. As Julie Ireton reports, victims want to know why the board failed to protect them.
Peter Hamer feels uncomfortable being back at Bell High School. That was where his music teacher, Bob Clark, exposed himself to him and tried to touch him.
And that was just hunting ground for Bob Clark.
In 1986, Hamer told the principal. He says the principal told him Clark would be moved. Clark was transferred to another Ottawa school where he sexually assaulted Mark Leach in the 1990s. Now the 2 men have met and they're both looking for answers.
He was telling me that this something similar happened to him, and he reported it, and he felt guilty because it happened to me.
It was really very sad because I thought nothing that I did stopped Bob Clark.
CBC has learned that in the 1970s, something similar happened with Bell High's basketball coach, Don Grenham. He too was moved to a different school shortly after a student complained. One legal expert says this was not unusual in the 1970s and 80s.
Very, very few abusers were held to account, and in fact, the common practice in the early period you're talking about would be to dismiss the teacher, but to send him on effectively to another teaching position.
CBC found no evidence school board officials notified police or carried out thorough investigations when initially warned about these cases. Charges were only laid after victims of a 3rd Bell High School teacher went to police in 2016. Music teacher Tim Stanitz had been hired to replace Bob Clark after he had been moved. Stanitz killed himself before his trial. Basketball coach Don Grenham also died before his court date. Bob Clark is now in federal prison. The Ottawa Carleton District School Board refused CBC's request for an interview. It says it cooperated fully with police when charges were laid. Julie Ireton, CBC News, Ottawa.
An Ontario judge has rejected an appeal from a man who claimed he shouldn't be convicted of raping a woman because he was asleep at the time. A stranger sexually assaulted a 23-year-old woman 7 years ago as she was sleeping. Ryan Hartman was convicted of the assault but appealed the decision twice, the second time claiming he suffered from a sleeping disorder and he didn't know he was raping her. Today, a Brockville judge said she did not believe Hartman. The victim, who can't be named because of a court order, says since the attack, she has suffered from anxiety, severe depression, and suicidal thoughts. In the last 15 years, sexsomnia has been used successfully as a defense 5 times.
I had these 2 horses, and I wanted to find a home for them.
He kind of looked at her, and she backed up because she had never seen a donkey before.
So how did a lonely donkey save an old horse? This is actually not the beginning of a joke, Carolyn.
It is the start of a heartwarming story. That's coming up next. welcome back to Here Now. I think we're all going to start talking at the
So
same time.
you've got something special, right?
I do. Look at
Okay.
adorable photo here.
Oh, isn't that
It's
lovely?
this is Peter
Yep.
from Gander Bay, Newfoundland. He says there's so much snow. Well, his owner says there's so much snow that even he needs a little hat.
That's adorable.
It's a very Christmassy hat, too.
I know it is. Well, we are getting almost the end of November.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. But that snowpack is going to go down a little bit as we head through the next 24 to 36 hours. We've got some rain on the way through the day tomorrow and looking ahead a little bit. So if we take a look at the forecast for tomorrow, temperatures are going to jump right up as well into the mid-single digits. So about 4 degrees in Gander, central areas along the Avalon will likely see temperatures in the higher single digits. And then up through Labrador where those temperatures are going to be quite cold thanks to a big ridge of high pressure and those cooler temperatures. So minus 19, winds will be fairly light though through the day. And then into Wednesday is when we're going to see a significant snowfall through Labrador. So here's a look at what we're going to see Tuesday night into Wednesday. We could see that potential, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, for some freezing rain for parts of the interior and central as we head through the night towards Wednesday morning. And then temperatures climb. So we're going to see that change over to rain, but all of that snow expected for Labrador. So Environment Canada has already issued a special weather statement, mainly along the coast and through to Happy Valley Goose Bay. In this case right now, it looks like accumulation somewhere between 20 to 30 centimeters is possible. And then windy conditions as well, gusting anywhere from 60 to 70 kilometers per hour. So blowing snow will certainly be a factor through the day on Wednesday. Otherwise, for the island, those temperatures are warm, above seasonal for this time of year, sitting between 7 and 9 degrees. So anything that does fall will fall as rain, at least for the first half of the day, and then some cooler temperatures move in, which means we're going to see everything change over to snow. So the reason for that is this cold pocket of air. This is in the upper levels. It's going to start to make its way down, certainly by Friday. So we'll start to see that cool down, and everything will change over to snow for the most part. And it looks like some significant snowfall is on the way as we head towards the end of the week. So here's a look at the outlook for now. There's that temperature drop Thursday night into Friday for eastern Newfoundland and the Avalon. Temperatures down to the minus single digits, and then windy conditions as well from Wednesday essentially through to Saturday for now. And then with that snow, we could see some blowing snow on Friday. Saturday looks like those flurries will stick around and temperatures around 0 degrees. Now, for parts of western Newfoundland, those temperatures are also going to drop a little bit earlier, though, as the cooler air moves in Tuesday night and then through the rest of the week or towards the weekend. We'll see those winds pick up on Friday into Saturday. So again, blowing snow is possible that day. Same thing for central, more like 5 to 10 centimeters it looks like for Thursday. Some of these accumulations by the time Friday and Saturday rolls around could be upwards of about 20 to 30 centimeters. And then we're going to see that for Labrador as well. So temperatures for western Labrador down into the minus teens, minus 20s overnight. And then that's a little bit warmer for parts of eastern Labrador. There's that 20 to 30 centimeters on Wednesday, and then those winds are going to pick up. So blowing snow will certainly be a story. Into Thursday and Friday, we'll see another round of snow, but it does look cold heading into next week.
Thanks, Ashley. Well, we told you earlier in the show about Bud the horse from Bell Island getting a new home, and now we have a story about a horse from Saskatchewan who met a new best friend.
Yeah, as an old horse on her last legs and about to be put down when she meets a lonely donkey who goes on to save her life. Here's what happened.
It all started when we were moving off our farm that we lived on for 29 years. We were downsizing, and I had these 2 horses, and I wanted to find a home for them. But one horse had very poor legs, and I decided it'd be best that he would be put down. And with Peggy, she's 24 years old, and I tried to find a home for her too. She was in good health. And as soon as somebody found out how old she was, they weren't interested in her. So I thought it'd be best for both of them if they would both be put down rather than end up somehow getting on a slaughter line. At the store, I ran into a nurse friend of mine, and I told her that I was feeling pretty bad because I was going to have to put my horse down. And she mentioned that she knew another nurse at the hospital that had a donkey, and his name was Festus. She said that she might be interested in taking Peggy.
Well, Festus came around the barn and he kind of looked at her, and she backed up because she had never seen a donkey before. He said, hi, I'm a nice guy to know. He's quite a handsome brute. And they, sniffed as animals do, and they've been together ever since.
This was the happiest moment of my entire life, to find a home for Peggy.
He was depressed. My farrier, who happens to be the same farrier that Peggy has, everything is like surreal. She said, you're getting a very nice animal with Peggy. And I just think it's a wonderful Christmas story, a wonderful happiness in my life. I'm a positive person, and this is just a full circle.
There you go. Peggy and Festus, they could have their own sitcom or some sort of romantic comedy.
Children's book or something.
Yeah, nice,
so sweet.
Nice story. All right, let's turn to news from central Canada. Quebec Premier François Legault has asked Premier Doug Ford to reconsider his government's decision to cut services for Ontario's French-speaking population.
I would have liked to see a Francophone university in Ontario. I would prefer to keep a commissary that is dedicated only to Francophones.
Legault met with Ford in Toronto. They also talked trade between the provinces and a possible hydro deal. Their meeting today had been set up before his Ontario counterpart announced those cuts last week. Ford says his government will remove the position of a French language services commissioner and scrap plans for a new Francophone university. Ford insists his cost-cutting moves won't affect services to people who speak French in Ontario. The cuts have also been criticized by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, as well as federal Conservative leader Andrew Scheer, as well as the mayors of Montreal and Quebec City.
I'll take a look at this beautiful winter scene. The trees maybe give it away a little bit? Probably not.
Well, let's see. It's not near here.
Nope.
Snowshoe tracks?
No, it just looks like feet.
Feet? Yeah.
No idea.
All right. Well, I'll tell you where this is coming up after the break. before the break, we showed you this gorgeous shot.
Yeah, I wish that rabbit with the red hat was like running down the trail.
So then you would know exactly where
help.
it was.
It would
Yeah,
help.
definitely. Well, this photo was taken in Pasadena, or just outside Pasadena, a winter wonderland. So snowy day there. Thank you, Rich Wheeler, for sending that photo in. If you have any weather photos you'd like to share with us, send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Yep, send them in. That's gorgeous.
What a difference between the east and west of the island right now.
No, I think I'd take that.
Totally.
See you tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night.